But what I'm saying, as the world's coming out, we're starting to see that there was a black Jesus, which he said bronze, hair of bronze, and all that, and hair like wool. But also the world has painted him to be white. So you're programmed to know, if you even know that he's black, but you've been programmed to think he's white by the programming of the world.
Right.
Same people that gave you the Bible.
Here's the thing, they didn't give us the Bible. They used the Bible to trap us, or not trap us. They used our Bible to keep us in a lower state. When really, this Bible is our book.
No, because now guess what's going to happen? Now we end up loving God out of fear and going to hell, and not loving him out of our heart.
So I guess what I love and this is the thing. I love and respect God for one by doing what he tells me to do. That's how we first. How do you know your kids?
But that's not loving him. That's you loving him for telling me what to do. How about I love him because you gave me life and you give me a sense of, you gave me life and you gave me a sermon to find my purpose.
That's the thing. We want to find our purpose. God gave us a purpose.
But that's what I'm saying. So how purpose. He put a gift in you. He put something in you that you're better than anybody at. Mm-hmm. That's your source of leadership.
Okay.
So when you find you through life, through the ups and downs, and you keep me at the forefront, meaning my direction in life. Follow me. I'll tell you right from wrong. You feel me? So now as you following that, I'm painting myself on you. You just don't look at the world for nothing. Look at me and look up, because I put in you the roadmap to get back home. It's already painted in you. Most people, thing is, most people not connected that far. So they can only go to right here. There's some of us that are connected here, and they're here to do the work, just like Jesus. Jesus didn't have the Bible. He said, I'm here to do the work my Father sent me to do.
Okay, so now a question about that. Did Jesus keep Feast of Dedication? It's a high holy day. So there's high holy days, right, that are in the Bible that we're supposed to keep. Like you said, Christ didn't need no Bible, right? It was already in him. He knew. He was created
to sit out a destiny. He was a destiny ordainer.
Okay, so did he keep so you said some people are like him, right?
No, nobody. There's no
okay.
Like him. You're right. Because first of all, he's not a man. God put his spirit in the woman. So he has no man.
That's another subject. I don't want to get to that one just yet.
All right. He didn't place his spirit.
Joseph, he came in through Joseph.
Okay.
But before we get to that, I want to show you that real quick. But watch this. So what was we just
John Feast Dedication.
Yeah. So these are the things. If it's in you, if God is actually speaking through you, then we have to know, because there are certain things that Christ kept, that the disciples kept, that all the believers kept. And if you're not keeping those things, then how do we know that you're doing what God... So Christ kept the Feast of Dedication. Read that.
The book of John, chapter 10 and verse 22.
Mm-hmm.
And it was at Jerusalem, the Feast of Dedication.
Go ahead.
And it was winter. And Jesus walked in the temple.
So Christ was keeping the Feast of Dedication. So if Christ kept the feast, like there's things that Christ kept and Christ did. If we were supposed to be followers of Christ, why don't we do the things that Christ did? If Christ kept Feast of Dedication, why don't we keep Feast of Dedication? If Christ kept Passover, why don't we keep Passover? If Christ didn't eat pork, why do we eat pork? You see what I'm saying? But now, let's go to...
But you're also in another realm of living. The reason it's hard for most people to get the Bible is because the world don't look like that. The world don't look like what we're reading. When we're looking at these hoods and these foreign cars and these houses, the Bible don't look like that. So it's hard for a person that is of this world to really get that when they're not making this to a way that it subconsciously can get it, because they put this out in the thee, in the thou, and the though to make you check out, because it's not subconsciously in you to pick up something that the way they talked back in the day.
I got a question for you. So back in the 1920s, right? Were we living?
No.
Right? But that's when you had Black Wall Street and stuff like that, right? The technology and the things that they had back then, did they have, the technology that we have today, did they have that back then?
No.
But yet the things that they did, we can still use that as a roadmap to make us successful in how to deal with one another in a sense.
But I think we're dropping the ball because we're using this ancient deal.
That was ancient too. We weren't living back then.
But what I'm saying, as the world's coming out, we're starting to see that there was a black Jesus, which he said bronze, hair of bronze, and all that, and hair like wool. But also the world has painted him to be white. So you're programmed to know, if you even know that he's black, but you've been programmed to think he's white by the programming of the world.
Right.
Same people that gave you the Bible.
That's the thing. They didn't give us the Bible. They used the Bible to trap us, or not trap. They used our Bible to keep us in a lower state, when really this Bible is our book.
Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today. Shalom.
So I wanted to, because we talked about Christ, right? I want to get back to that real quick. Give me Matthew chapter 1, verse 1. So if Christ, if God just put his spirit into Mary, would he have a genealogy, like a lineage of where he came from? So for example, you have a lineage, right? Because your father, like your line, your seed, who you come from, like your father, your grandfather, your bloodline, your father's father, and so forth, generations, right? So would Christ have generations if he was just put into somebody? Because he wouldn't have a father, right? If he was just put.
God is all our father,
right? But my dad is Seth. His dad was Chuck. His dad was somebody else and somebody else, right? So we all here on earth have a earthly father, correct? So give me Matthew 1:1.
The book of Matthew, chapter 1 and verse 1. The book of the generation of Jesus Christ.
So this said the book of the generation of Jesus Christ. So this is letting you know that Christ had a generation, a lineage, right? Go ahead.
The son of David, the son of Abraham. Abraham begot Isaac.
So begat means he had. He had his seed into a woman and had that child. So read that.
Abraham begot Isaac, and Isaac begot Jacob.
And Isaac begot Jacob.
And Jacob begot Judas and his brethren. And Judas begot Phares and Zara of Tamar. And Phares begot Ezron. And Ezron begot Aram. And Aram begot Aminadab.
So jump to verse 16.
Matthew chapter 1 and verse 16. And Jacob begot Joseph.
Jacob begat Joseph,
the husband of Mary.
The husband of Mary.
Of whom was born Jesus.
Of whom was born Jesus. So, it's letting you know right there that Joseph had his seed, his sperm made Christ. I'll get you another.
So I thought old girl couldn't get pregnant, and God he told her she would be pregnant.
So it wasn't that she couldn't get pregnant. It was that she was saying at the time she had not had sex with another man, and he was letting her know that she was going to be with Joseph. when you read in Luke chapter 1. But I'm going to get this real quick. This is Acts chapter 2 and verse, read that.
The book of Acts, chapter 2 and verse 30.
Uh-huh.
Therefore, being a prophet, and knowing that God hath sworn with the oath to him, that of the fruit of his loins.
So the fruit of your loins is your seed, right? Go ahead. So this is talking about King David. It said that of the fruit of his loins, read.
According to the flesh.
According to the flesh, where we live right here today.
He would raise up Christ to sit on his throne.
So Christ came through the lineage of David. So it's letting you know that he had physical lineage, that men had to actually put their seed into women to have him. Go ahead.
Romans chapter 1 and verse 3. Concerning his son, Jesus Christ, our Lord, which was made of the seed of David according to the flesh.
That's our seed. Man carried the seed. It said Christ was made of the seed of David. Now give me Hebrews chapter 2. 2 and verse 16. Go ahead.
The book of Hebrews chapter 2 and verse 16. For verily, he took not on him the nature of angels.
It said Christ did not take on the nature of angels. Go ahead.
But he took on him the seed of Abraham.
The seed. It's the seed of Abraham, meaning he was born through that lineage of a man. So he wasn't immaculately conceived. He was actually born how all men are born, like we read Wisdom of Solomon 7. Watch this real quick.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7 and verse 1. I myself also am a mortal man.
He said, I'm a mortal man, right? Christ walked on the earth as flesh, correct? He walked on the earth as flesh. Go ahead.
Like to all. And the offspring of him that was first made of the earth.
Right.
So who is Jesus Christ?
He is...
Hold on. Is Christ his last name?
Christ just means the Messiah, because Jesus is.
But see, because that's where I think when they said the world that Jesus coming back or God, I don't think that. I think the Christ is coming back.
Jesus was just so. Jesus is in turn for you could say Yehoshua, Joshua, Yahshua, Yeshua. Many people had the name Jesus, but he was Jesus the Christ, meaning Jesus the Messiah. So just like you could say, yo, that's John right there, and that's John, and that's John, but that John right there is John the Christ. He just had a common name, but so they was letting you know he was the Christ. But I wanted to finish that point on that one too, real quick.
Yes, sir. Of him that was first made of the earth. Verse 2. And in my mother's womb was fashioned to be flesh in the time of 10 months.
Right, because that's how we all come. You know what I mean? Where we all come, we're fashioned in the womb from the seed of a man. Go ahead.
Being compacted in blood. Of the seed of man. Of the seed of man. And the pleasure that came with sleep.
Go ahead.
And when I was born, I drew in the common air and fell upon the earth, which is of like nature. And the first voice which I uttered was crying.
Like all babies normally come out. They come out crying, right? Go ahead.
As all others do. I was nursed in swaddling clothes, and that with cares. For there is no king that had any other beginning of birth.
So he's letting you know, we know Christ is the king, right? But he's letting you know there's no other man that had any other beginning of birth. So he's letting you know that Christ actually had a physical earthly father, that his seed was implanted into his wife for him to be born. So it wasn't an immaculate conception.
You know that.
And these are the things, that's why I said it goes into it, because we can still clearly read, like it says, of the seed of David, the seed of Abraham, the seed of Joseph. His father was Joseph, but they tell us one thing, and that's why I'm going into what I'm saying about them using the Bible as a tool to trick us. Like you said, you read that Christ is black, but what's been taught to us all our lives? That he was white.
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models.